The year is 1940. Today in the small town of Boca Raton, a star is born. A star worth celebrating. One of America's most treasured actors and philanthropists. Today, Henry is born. The names like Daffy and Donald don't even reign power like that of Henry the Duck. With several Academy Awards including Best Actor and Best Director, Donald and Daffy have faded from existence.
Henry and I go way back. We would go to the library every few days. Henry was not one for whispering. We got thrown out of there faster than loiterers in a bar.
Henry was destined to be great. I believe that his role as Seagull #1 in Titanic gave his edge amongst most acting birds.
After working with James Cameron on Titanic, Henry's career took off like a bird. Nearly the reason for Titanic's 12 Academy Awards. James Cameron will always be in debt to Henry. But even with his incredible talents in Titanic, one of those awards were not his.
Henry, that duck, man.
I worked with Henry on The Duck's Meow. Him and Meryl Streep both received Academy Award nominations. I mean, when doesn't Meryl and Henry get nominated? Henry knew exactly what drove his character. You couldn't have asked for a better star. His scene with the supporting actress, Aretha Hawley, is iconic to filmmakers all over the world.
Why won't you speak to me, Philip? Talk to me, Philip!
Henry's work ethic is like no other duck I've ever worked with. He knew exactly what was needed for the role. After watching him work, I thought, why am I even here?
Henry.
Henry's career was soaring high above the rest, but the loss of the Academy Award for Best Lead in The Duck's Meow turned Henry down a dark path.
Losing that award was tragic for Henry. It changed him.
I was waiting on set for Henry one day, and he just never showed up.
There was a new trend swarming the country, and it just so happened to affect Henry. It was bread. To the human mouth, bread is nutritious and delicious. To the duck mouth, it's like catnip.
After Henry started eating bread, his acting quality dropped dramatically. My 5-star ratings immediately dropped to a 2, even an occasional 1.
Many of the other local critics began giving Henry bad reviews also, not only lowering his pay, but his self-esteem as well. This put a bad taste in mouths of his fans, who stopped going to see his movies.
Even I couldn't see the bread-induced films, so I decided to do something about it.
Ken Dahl decided to track down the culprit who gave Henry his bread. After 6 months of searching, he finally found his man, an old acquaintance, Seagull #2 from Titanic.
I didn't know who he was at first, which was really a shame considering how famous he was. Had I known, I don't think I would have sold it to him. I know how much his career means to him, and I wish I could take it back.
So, would you blame yourself for Henry's addiction?
Yes, I was the first to introduce him to bread.
After a few months of recovery, Henry was back to acting. Although his addiction was over, Henry still had a long road back to stardom.
I heard Henry was off the bread, and I thought long and hard about some sort of reward. I'd also heard he was having trouble finding something to get him back on his feet, and that's when I decided to call him.
When Henry was in trouble, me being the closest to family, I was given the job to receive all his phone calls. I received a message from a film director asking if Henry wanted to be in his new movie, and I knew the answer right away.
Henry starred in the new film, Quacks of the Red Moon, a teen-focused movie based off the popular vampire love story. After the release, Henry received another Academy Award, thus confirming his return to acting.
He came so far. I honestly was considering quitting acting just to show some support, but when I heard Henry was back, I had almost gone to tears. And to top it all off, He recommended me to be a character in his newest film.
And so, Henry was back to making audience laugh and cry, scream and sigh. He truly is a great man. And now, here he is to give you a few words of wisdom, Mr. Henry Quackleton Cook.